Chairman, I want to thank our panel, and what a difference a year has made. We know 11 months ago we approved a TIA, and in a unanimous bipartisan fashion, it came through our subcommittee, and we worked with Senator Cardin. And then, of course, I appreciate the chairman and ranking member kind of pulling it over the finish line. And I think today it's now more deserving than ever that we take it not just from the full committee, but up to the full Senate and enact it into law. I think COVID-19 has hammered our national economy. But all three talked about that, and it has really carried costs. It's stalling the investments. For instance, in my state of West Virginia, driving on deficient roads costs West Virginia drivers $866 million per year, and a hidden expense of about $754 per person. Due to vehicle wear, depreciation, extra fuel. We do have some difficult terrain at times to get around. But it can also contribute to fatalities and injuries, and that costs money and obviously lives, which is very difficult. I think that for places like West Virginia, I'm just going to mention some that are in that I think will be particularly important in this bill: the Nitro St. Albans Bridge, which is I-64 outside of Charleston, and completing Corridor H, which is the last really planned part of the Appalachian Development Highway System, which goes through the center of our states, which has been being built for decades. We want to see that complete. So I was proud to work with the regulatory streamlining provisions that are in here. Getting the permitting is absolutely critical. So, Mr. Lanham, I've been on transportation for many years. I've obviously here, and then over in the House, I was on the House Transportation Committee, and we've had a lot of stops and starts over the years where we've had 3-month extensions, 6-month extension, not quite as long as even a year. And I know you've been in business for a while, and I'm sure your company has been held hostage by the stops and starts and the sputtering of those acts as we did that over the last several years. What kind of impact does that have on a company like yours, or an ability to get these large projects done if we're only extending for 6 months or extending for 3 months? Could you make a comment on that?
Senator, it's a devastating to the program. One, because almost all these significant projects are multi-year projects. So unless there is funding certainty, according to the federal rules, the transportation plan is fiscally constrained. So unless they have the funding in place, those significant projects fall off the immediate plan. Or they trade funding for other essential projects and bundle it into the one. But the overall system loses in regard to that. But the effect to businesses like ours is we lose opportunity. And then when there's reduced opportunity, we're laying people off.
Right. That's what I was going to ask you.
We're laying people off. In 2008, we laid off 30% of the company.
In 2008?
Yes, sir.
Are you back up to, or were you back up?
We're getting close, but it took a decade.
Yeah, I mean, that's, and those are jobs that are
Those are
good paying jobs that are sustain a lot of families in Texas and certainly across the country. I'm interested to know too, during the COVID experience that you had, did you have to furlough some of your employees?
Senator, no. We were blessed in our jurisdiction to be deemed an essential a critical activity, and we capitalized on that. Now, we did operate safely and instituted all the protocols in the workplace deemed appropriate and recommended. And we were able to advance projects and advance the schedule on projects because of the shutdown and the reduced traffic demand, because we're strictly a road and bridge. So the reduced amount of cars, we advanced projects 2 and 3 months in the schedule because of that. Well,
I guess there's some hidden nuggets of good news that happened during this time. I was interested to hear, Mr. Grumet, you mentioned pipelines. In my state, we've had 2 major pipelines that have been stalled in the courts for years. And I think it's unreasonable to think that to get to the environmental goals of some in the community, to think they're all of a sudden going to be accepting of pipelines is because they fight them every step of the way. And even though they've been lawfully, the one just went to the Supreme Court and on the permitting process. I am very pleased and that the NDAA includes a bill that Senator Whitehouse and I have worked on together from both sides of the aisle. That's called the Use It Act. And what it does is it works with the creation of pipelines to carry that CO2 to other energy producing sites. Hopefully that will have some impact, but you know, we've all got to get, if we're going to modernize and build and use our own natural resources, this pipeline stalling and using legal tactics to really off the projects is deeply troubling to me and my region of the country, and certainly it's got to be troubling to the Northeast, where we can't, our resources unable to help those folks up there have more affordable energy costs. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.